Hey guys, this is LADYARNETTAWARD. I will be giving you positive words on how you can live your life to the fullest. Here, every Sunday on Facebook Live at 12 noon. I will see you soon. Hey guys, this is LADYARNETTAWARD. Welcome today. Today is another week. Today is Sunday, July the 5th. Welcome to the Word. Welcome to the Word. I hope and pray that you guys have had a wonderful and a blessed week. Yesterday was the 4th of July. I'm sure many of you spend time with your family and your loved ones and your friends to celebrate on the 4th. Well, guess what, guys? We are still here. Today, I am going to be talking to you about something that is very special. I'm sure that if you're not dealing with it, you know someone who is going to be dealing with it, someone who has went through it. And so today, I am going to be talking about, guess what? You're missing time on being with your Boaz because you're wasting time with, you fill in the blank yourself. You know, are you missing time with the right one because you're wasting time with, okay, we're going to let you just fill in the blank. Whatever it is, it could be your career, that you're so overwhelmed with your career and you're just focusing on one thing right now, but you have the desires to be with that special person. You have the desires to be with that one person that's going to help you get to the next level. You know, it could be your job that it is you're spending more time with, and because of that, you're missing out on your Boaz because you're wasting time with what? I just picked one example for you. I said a job, but guess what? We're getting ready to get into relationship building. How we're getting ready to get into how do you find the correct person for you? How do you find that right person for you? How do you know that you are with the person that you are supposed to be with? Huh? Are you with the person that you're supposed to be with? Or are you with the one that God has ordained for you to be with? There's a difference. There's a difference. So again, guys, my question is to you today. Are you missing time with your Boaz, or are you wasting time on what? Yes, you fill in the blank for yourself. Or are you wasting time with that one person that is not benefiting you? Are you wasting time with that one person that is not helping you? Are you wasting time with that individual that does not encourage you when you need to be encouraged, that does not lift you up when you need to be lifted up? Are you wasting time with that person and settling for less? Huh? How many of us have been through that? How many of us have actually dealt with that? You know, there are some times in our life when, look, we're just not with the right person. Huh? We get into relationships, and a lot of times that is not the relationship that God has ordained. Well, if you are one of those ones, hey Facebook, if you are one of those ones that have a desire to meet that special person, I'm here to tell you that you will find them. If you have the desires to meet that one that you want to spend the rest of your life with, I'm talking about marriage, yes, you have an opportunity to meet that person. Now look, I'm just going to throw some things out here at you. Ephesians 4 and 2 and 3. Remember, guys, everything that we go through in life, you can find it in the Word of God. The Word of God is there to give you direction. It is to let you know that, yes, God is pleased with this. And God has given us direction on certain things that we need to do. So everything, every decision that you need to make, every obstacle that you go through, you can find that particular situation in the Word of God. So my question again, for those of you who have just came on and joined us today, are you missing time on being with your Boaz? Or are you wasting time on what? guess what? You fill in the blank for that. Oh my goodness. So Ephesians 4 and 2 to 3, it says, be completely humble and gentle, be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. You know, so are you missing out on your Boaz? I tell people that at some point in time you have crossed that loved one that you are supposed to be with. If you have a desire to be with that special someone, you have already crossed path. Now let me tell you, some things that happen to us in our lives, you know, there are a lot of us who've been there. I've been there. I have loved ones that have been there. I have friends that have been there. And a lot of times they get in relationships, they get into marriage, they get with that person that they are thinking that they're going to spend the rest of their lives with. I've been there. And one of the reasons that we do that is because we may be settling for less. How many times have you dropped your standard? That is a good subject to start right there. How many times have you dropped your standard? Have you lowered your standard? Well, that person may look good on the outside. You haven't took time out to really get to know that person, but because that person is shaped correctly, because that person is molded correctly on the outside, sometimes we don't really actually take the time out to sit back and look and check out the fruit. When you're going into a grocery store and you're looking for some fruit, you know what do? You look through that fruit. You know, when I'm looking for some grapes and some bananas, I just don't pick the first thing that I see. You know, it might not look too good. I have to turn my grapes over. You know, I had to pick up a couple of bags to see which one I'm going to pick. So sometimes things might look good on the outside. That individual might look good on the outside, but I have not taken the time to sit back and really look at the fruit that I'm getting ready to pick or that I have decided. Now, for some of us, we have already laid out our goals, our things that we want for us to be with a man, or vice versa. If you are a man and you're looking for a woman, you know, but we're dealing with the women today, okay? I'm going to try to help the women out. You know, again, the question today, are you missing time with being with your Boaz, but you're wasting time on fill in the blank yourself, okay? So we have sometimes women, ladies, we have already had our goals, our desires that we want in a man, okay, that we want. We have this. I want him to be dark and handsome. I want him to be bald-headed and slim. You know, I need a man that's got some muscles, that's got a little weight. You know, we have picked the kind of man that we want, okay. I want him to be prosperous. I want him to be a godly man, you know, a God-fearing man. You know, I want my man to have his own business. I want my man to not be broke. I need him to be wealthy. You know, there are certain things that we have set out that we want for our man to be, ladies. There's a certain way that we want for him to look. Well, let me tell you what happens. Sometimes what happens is if that man does not come within a particular time in our life, what do? We start settling for less. Oh my goodness, huh, ladies? We start settling for less. You know, well, I know that I need to find, my husband is supposed to be wealthy and he's supposed to own his own business, but now I see Tom over here. And Tom, he's trying, you know, to get himself together. But you already know that Tom keeps getting fired from his job because there's something else. Tom does not know how to keep his mouth shut. Tom does not know how to speak to the employees around there. Tom has an attitude issue. Okay, so we start forgetting about our standards that we want to have in our man, ladies. We start forgetting about that, and then we start settling for less because we have gotten tired. Oh my goodness, I have waited 2 and 3 years, and God told me that my husband, my Boaz, was coming, and he is not here yet, you know. So now here comes this other guy, you know. I'm just going to have to just mark it off. No, he does not have a wealthy job, you know, but, you know, he's trying. He's trying. Well, what happens, ladies? We start to settle for less. We start seeing the red flags. You know, I had someone tell me, he said, now look, there are some red flags that you're going to see. We look over the mental abuse that the individual starts to give out. Now, what happens is when you get to know a person, you go out on a few dates. You know, you're just dating, you know, and then you and that individual, you come to the conclusion, you say, well, we want to go to the next step. We want to go a little farther. We want to go a little farther. So that's fine. You know, you guys both have made the decision that you are going to go to the next level. You have made a decision that you are going to spend the rest of your life with this person. Both of you have agreed on that. Well, sometimes what happens in a relationship, one or the other, could be the man, could be the woman, sometimes we begin to see the red flags. See, there's always a red flag that that individual has. It might stay settled in them for a while, but eventually you're going to start seeing that red flag. That red flag is going to come out eventually. You know, anywhere from 30 to 60 days, you're going to start seeing how an individual is. You know, my husband says, and I don't know if it's true, he says that, you know, I think he says men can be on their best behavior for a year. I don't know, but that's what a man has told me. That guys, you can be on your best behavior for at least a year. Now, after that year is up, you know, sometimes some of y'all get kind of carried away. So now let me tell you real quick. So you have put out your standards. You have named them. And then because what happens is, because we get tired of being by ourselves, we sometimes start to drop the standard. We start to drop the standard. You know, we feel like, some of us maybe feel like that we're getting too old. You know, I need to, you know, I have a desire to be married. You know, and I'm reaching a certain age now, and I'm still not in a relationship. So now here comes Mr. Bob, but you have not took time to check out Mr. Bob's frugal, because this man has smiled in your face all of a sudden, because this man has said hello to you, you know, and he's took you out on a couple of days. You done said that that's the one. Okay, you said that that's the one. I'm going to get over to how we're going to get into the favor of God in just a minute, but you said that that is the one. Okay, so now all of the standards that you have written out already, you have forgotten about that because you're feeling like you're too old. You're starting to settle for less, and you're starting to take on. Now, this young man will start to show you who he is. My husband says men can be on their best behavior for 6 months. Women can do it for 2 years. I don't know where Ward gets that statistic from. You know, show me where that is. I need to read that. I need to find that. This is what he is saying, okay? Men can be on their best behavior for 6 months. Women can do it for 2 years. Okay. That's Ward saying that. So I don't know. We're going to check that out. We're going to check and make sure that those are correct, okay? It says they get lonely, so they take whatever they can get. Wow, you are settling for less. You know, another thing is I keep going to this red flag. I keep going to this red flag because we get so anxious and we get so ready to be with this individual that we think that is the one that we're going to spend time with, but we start seeing red flags. Well, okay, let's get into some red flags. What are red flags? If you're dating someone, ladies, we're dealing with the ladies. If you're dating someone and you guys are out, you know, at the dinner, and then all of a sudden your male friend, he gets upset because something is not right with his meal and you at the dinner table, and he starts cussing out the waitress. He gets all reared up and gets kind of out of hand. That's a red flag. So what's going to happen when you and him have a disagreement? Could it be that he would treat you the same way? Could it be that he would rear up with you? Could it be that he could get out of hand with you if you've seen him do this with somebody else? That's a red flag. Okay, another red flag. I'm dealing with red flags because they are out there. You will see these red flags while you are in a relationship, ladies, with a young man. Another red flag. If you know that you have told this man that you are dating, and you said that I want to keep myself pure, I don't want to have sexual relationship with you, which that is your choice. And this man says, well, he want to keep trying to pressure you into having sexual relationship, and you done told him, no, I don't know you well enough. We're still trying to get to know each other, and I want us to connect through marriage first. Yes, and I want to connect through marriage first. And he tries to press you, and then he gets upset, and he may not call for 3 or 4 months. He may not call for 2 or 3 weeks. Guess what, ladies? That's a red flag. Okay, let me tell you a quick story. We choose to ignore them first off. Right, we choose to ignore them first off because we want to be loved. Ladies want to be loved. Ladies want to be held. We want someone to say, oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, you're so pretty. We choose to not look at those signs that we see. But let me tell you, ladies, they are there. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I got with a young man who... my phone is going crazy. I got with a young man who I had married. And no, I'm not talking about Ward. And what does Ward say? He says, words lie, actions don't. Right, they always show themselves. I'm not going to repeat that what you just said, Mark. He said, if you don't put a ring on it, you don't get sexual relationship. Okay, Ward didn't come out and say that. He said something else, but I'm not going to say that. But my story is that, see, I can't tell you how to get out of something correctly if I haven't experienced it. Okay? I can give you direction. I can tell you what I feel, but I can really tell you what to look out for if I have experienced it myself. I can tell you how to get out of it if I experienced it myself. So I got into this relationship with, oh my gosh, I just had a flashback. Let me focus. Got into this relationship with this young man, and he is a nice person. We dated for a while. What started happening is, now, ladies, I'm gonna, I speak the word, so I got to give it to you bold. I got to give it to you exactly how it is, because I can't sugarcoat anything. I have to give it to you how it is, so when you see these things, you will know what's going on. So I got involved with this man. Now, ladies, when I say settling for less, dropping your standards, I am a person who wants a man to be, well-groomed. I want him to, if he has a family, that he takes care of his family. He loves his family. I'm talking about children. I want a man that shows that he can take care of financially. That he has a job, that he's able to take care of himself, that he's able to have his own place, have his own transportation. Those are my standards okay, that he has a certain amount of money to where he can take care of himself and me. Those are my standards. Those are my standards. And what had happened was, because I know, I was getting to the point where I was getting tired of not having someone. I was getting tired of being by myself, and I end up getting into a relationship that I should have not been in. So now what happens? I'm dealing with red flags. The red flags, one thing that started to happen, I noticed that this young man didn't have a place to stay. Red flag. I noticed that this young man could talk the talk, but he could not walk the walk. And as it came down to, he did not have a place to stay. I noticed that this man, he was homeless. He was going from place to place. You know, this is someone that I started to talk to, and I understand what was going on, and I'm going to tell you what was going on. But these are the red flags that I see, which I ignored, because now I'm at the point now where I'm tired of being by myself, and I want to have a relationship looking past my standards that I already have. One of my standards is you must be able to take care of yourself. That's the first thing. You must be able to take care of yourself. And that was a red flag. I ignored it. The other red flag, I started noticing that things that I trusted him to do, he wasn't doing it. Giving him permission to pay a certain of my bills. He was not doing it. He was taking the bill money and doing other things with it. You know, a red flag. But I have ignored the red flag, and I'm still with this individual because I'm thinking that this individual is getting ready to change. Oh my God, ladies, how many times have you heard that? I can change for you. I'm going to change. Oh yes, I'm getting ready to get in some deep stuff today, ladies. Okay? Because it has to become a time when we have to stop settling for the garbage talk. Stop settling for the things. Do you believe a relationship is more or less contract? I need you to elaborate on that. What do you mean? So we have to stop listening to the garbage. Like my husband says, your action has to speak. So now let me go back to my story. I began to see these things in this man, that he was taking things that I had trusted him with, and he was taking it for his own things. That was a red flag. Now remember, I hadn't got married yet. Okay, these are the red flags that I'm seeing. Not having a place to stay. We still hadn't got married. We still hadn't got married yet. Okay, I'm dealing with that. Now, I have already said the standards that I want for my man to have. He has to be able to take care of himself. He has to be able to take care of me. He has to have employment or some type of income coming in where he can handle himself and me. Those are my standards. He has to be able to be fit a certain way. You know, he has to be able to keep himself groomed. You know, so when it happened, I saw two red flags. But ladies, guess what? I did not. I wasn't caring about the red flag, because at that particular time I was ready, you know, to get married. Now, what happens? Started seeing other red flags. Started seeing that he was a little too much dominant. Ladies, if you are in a relationship with the man and you feel like they're too dominant for you, you know, especially, and you're seeing these traits that they're having, especially before you tie the knot, then those are red flags. Pay attention to the red flags. See, what happens is we forget about the red flags. I want to deal with this question. Do you believe a relationship is more or less contract. A relationship and a marriage, I believe a marriage is different. I believe that a marriage, it is an agreement. It is a contract, because when you decide to get married to this person, and I had to learn this. I did not learn this. I did not learn this until I was, oh my goodness, 40 something years old, because I wasn't taught right. When you enter into a relationship, and then you go from the relationship to the marriage, you are now have accepted a contract. Those two individual people that are in that contract, you guys should sit down together. This is what we want out of this contract. Now, one thing you have decided to get with this individual through marriage or your agreement in the sight of God. Okay, you have united yourself in the sight of God. Okay, my son was dealing with, he has a podcast thing. They were dealing with prenups. I don't want to get into that because that's a totally different subject. But they were dealing with prenups. Do you agree to sign a prenup? That's on a different level. But that is a good question. Do you believe a relationship is more or less than a contract? A relationship and a marriage is two different things. If you're just in a relationship, that's something tricky right there. If you're just in a relationship, there are certain things that you are not necessarily obligated to, because you have not, oh my God, you have not went into an agreement or into a contract over the sight of God through marriage. Okay, if you're just in a relationship, you are not subjected to everything that you would be accountable for when you reach into that marriage. So that's why when we get into marriage, it becomes a different level, because some of us that reach into marriage, we were not taught correctly. That's why the old church wants you to receive counseling. Okay, and hopefully that they gave you the proper counseling. You know, so a lot of us that have got in relationships, we did not receive, Mark, I need you to turn the air on. We did not receive the proper counseling. Women were not taught what was being humbled to their husband. The husband was not taught how to be the provider of the family. Okay, so there is a lot of stuff that was in that. You know, there's a lot of stuff that comes in a relationship. Relationship is totally different from entering into an agreement and then going into a marriage. Look, let me tell you something, men. Let me tell you something, because I see I got some men on here. When you enter into that marriage, and I have 3 sons, when you enter into that marriage, there is a responsibility that God holds you accountable for, to take care of that woman that you are saying that you are coming into agreement with, and you are going to take care of her. Okay, now I do not mean that you have to pay all the bills. Okay, I do not mean that you are the one that has to be the provider over the whole thing, because now the course of the world that we are in now, some of the men are not able to take care of all of the finances. Okay, so ladies, when we get with a relationship, and when we're getting past the relationship and we're going to the contract, which is agreement with you and that individual and that husband that you have decided, you know if your spouse is not able to take care of all the bills in the house. I'm getting into something totally different. You know, I'm getting into something totally, you already know that he is not able to do that. Okay, so the part of the wife is to be more submissive and want to help that individual. Okay, you should want to help your husband if you know that he's doing everything that he is supposed to do. You know, if he's doing that, then you should want to come in and say, let me help you. Now, there are some men that will not or do not want their wives to work. That's fine. If that is your agreement that you are going to do, then you stick with your agreement. Okay, the relationship, we're just now getting started. I got to get to know you. Okay, so I'm seeing these red flags, you know, and I've just done dropped my standard. I done dropped my standard because I feel that I am too old. I'm not going to find somebody. You know, I have settled for less. I have looked over all of the signs. Okay, my question today to you guys are, you're missing time with being with your Boaz because you're wasting time with, you fill in the blank. You fill in the blank. Okay, at some point of time you have seen the person that you are supposed to be with. So the relationship that I was in, I saw all the bad flags, but I ignored it. Like someone said, I ignored the red flags and I continue to move forward with this individual. Now, let me explain to you what is getting ready to happen if we ignore the red flags. Now, sometimes we jump too fast and we go from like my dad is on there, like we go from the relationship to the contract. Sometimes we move too fast. You know, sometimes some of y'all need to still be in the relationship. You still need to, you know, maybe try to get yourself together because you're not already together, because we got to keep in mind that when we go from the relationship to that contract in the sight of God, there are some responsibilities. Ladies, I'm sorry to tell you, but there are some responsibilities that we have for our husband. Guys, there are responsibilities that we have for our wives. Okay, the man's responsible for leading the family, provide and protect. That is correct. That is correct. So what happened? And I'm telling my story. I ignored all of the red flags. Now, at some point in time, you cannot tell me in no relationship, while you are in your dating stage, while you are in, well, this is the person that we are dating, you know, we planning on getting married, blah, blah, blah. You are going to see something. Now, Ward, you said, let me go back to this. You said that a woman, and I'm going to check this out. You said that a woman can be on her best behavior for 2 years. You said that a man can be on his best behavior for 6 months. Now, this is a man talking. This is what Ward is saying. So, guys, he's saying after 6 months, if y'all not right, y'all getting ready to start cutting up. Ladies, I don't know how we can hold together for 2 years, but that's what Ward is saying. So, guys, he's saying that after 6 months, you can act like you are the best of the best. Prime example, the movie. Somebody help me out with the movie. It was a man and a lady that they got married. The man, oh, he was a handsome man. He had money. He had everything. You know, they seemed like they had a lot of friends. They seemed like that everything was just going to be peachy peachy and everything was good. Well, what happens is the lady wanted to get pregnant and have a baby. Okay, and this is what I'm saying. You got to know what's in your contract, because you done went from a relationship to marriage. Okay, so ladies, if you want to get with the man and you want to have children, you need to ask him that in the relationship, in the relationship part. Now, guys, ladies, we get mixed up when we're in dating stage. You don't just go to dating stage and start scaring the man and say, oh, I want to get married. No. You're scaring him off. You need to sit back and wait and see what's going to happen. See, you're still in the dating. Dating, you become to the relationship, and then you're getting ready to sign the contract. There is a difference. Sometimes when we get into the dating stage, we done scared the man off because we trying to tell him, oh yeah, I want to have 5 kids. I want to have a big house. I gotta have a nice car. And I want my husband. You know, I want him to get. You done scared the man off because that man might not be at that level yet. He's still trying to get to know you because you're in the dating stage. Your mind has done already went to the relationship with this man, and he's not even ready for that. He's still trying to get to know you. So sometimes you jump the gun, and you done scared Billy off. Because see, you are not still staying in the relationship. The dating part. The dating part, the relationship. When you get to a relationship is someone where you guys are agreeing that you are going to be together. You're trying this thing out. We're going to see how this works. Yes, she is my man. Yes, I am his lady. A relationship. We do things together. We go out together. We have fun together. This is my relationship. What is a relationship? A relationship is someone when I'm with my guy, my relationship, I'm not looking at Richard over there. I'm not calling Richard and saying, come on to my house. If you want to do that, you need to stay back in the dating. You need to, and I don't forget the YouTube thing, y'all. You need to stay in the dating. But when you reach from the dating to the relationship, you're getting ready to get serious, ladies. And when you're in the dating, you don't want to start talking about stuff that you should be dealing with in a relationship because you done scared poor Billy Bob off. You done scared him because he already knows that he's not at that level yet. So sometimes when we are in the dating stage, ladies, and I'm helping you out, we need to sit back. Let me tell you, ladies, a secret. When we're in the dating stage, we don't have to do nothing but just sit and watch. Sit and watch. Check out the fruit. Check what they do. Check how they compliment. If they have parents, check how they treat their parents. Check how they interact with their children. Are they spending time with their children? Check that out. Check the fruit. We ain't got to say anything. All we got to do is just watch. Because we're watching for the red flags. The red flags is going to come out because Ward said that you guys can be on your best behavior for 6 months. I promise you, I'm going to check that one out. 6 months, okay? So we don't have to scare them off. See, sometimes what happens is we find that good person that's going to be good for us. That person has it going on. We've already felt in our spirit that this is the person that we're going to be with. And because of our mouths, I don't know why I'm going here, because of our mouths, because we have been hurt before, because we have been reminded of what Tom did to us, because we were reminded what Billy Joel did to us, because we done went back, and you sitting here with I need some more names. You sitting here with Mark, and Mark haven't even done anything. Mark is not even that type of person. You know what happened to me when I got with my husband? Because this is a true story, because I was so messed up with being with the wrong person that when I got with Mark and we were in the dating stage, my apostle had to come to me and said, get your mind right, because he is not like them. He is not like them. So because you had a bad relationship with so-and-so down here, sometimes when we meet the person that God wants us to get with, and that person is just trying to get to know us, and you stay in the dating stage, there's levels. And you're in the dating stage, you done scared that man off because you done told him what Tom done did to you. You done had flashbacks. You done started fussing and cussing that man out, and that man is gone. That was your husband. He just gone. You know what they say? You crazy. That girl crazy. Why do they say that? Because we have scared them off, because we have been so hurt. See, ladies, sometimes it's hard for us to get rid of that hurt. You know why it's hard for us to get rid of that hurt? Is because we haven't dealt with it. We haven't talked about it. We haven't cried it out. We have not taken ourselves through forgiveness. Okay? Watch this. Let me tell you how to find the right person. Everything you need is in the Word of God. Listen, once you begin to commit your heart over to God, He begins to change your walk. He places His desires in you. Now check this out. if you begin to commit your life over to God, God begins to show you the desires that he has for you. When you see Tom, that spirit is going to connect and you're going to know that's not the one. You know why? Because God's spirit is in you. When you see Tom, you're going to know that's not the one. But when you see Mark, or when you see, oh, I got on here, Don, or when you see Cortez, or when you, I'm just using y'all for example, because Don, I know that you're looking for a relationship. When you see different guys, you're going to know that spirit is going to connect, and you're going to say, yeah, that's the one. You know how I know? Because that's what happened to Mark when he saw this sexy mama. He said, yeah, that's the one. But how do you know that? You got to get lined up with the word if you want the one that God has placed for you. Get lined up with the word. If you get lined up with the word, and when you're in your dating stage, you know, there is a dating thing. They call it, is it speed dating? Somebody help me out. It's speed dating or something when this is the dating part. It's some kind of something where you have these men and women and they're in this room and the bell goes off or something and they say, okay, you sit at this table, and there are questions that you have to ask and there are questions that you have to answer. You sit there with that person for 5 or 10 minutes, you know, and then when the bell rings again, you go over to the next person. I think it's called speed dating. Yeah, thank you. Speed dating, you know. You trying to get to know that person. Well, why are you doing it? If you are connected to the Holy Spirit, you're going to already know, if I don't sit with these 5 men, they not the right one. After you done sit with them 5 women and you know that God's spirit in you, you already know that's not the right one. But when you get to the right one, the connection is going to be made and you're going to know. Because see, what happens is, ladies, that when we are with an individual, we know that they're not the right one, but we settle. We put our standards down because we're so scared that we're going to be left out. We're scared that we're going to be left behind. We're scared that we are going to get too old. We're scared. So back to my story, when I was in that relationship, it did not end good because it wasn't the person that I was supposed to be with. See, I bypassed the signs. Now, that individual doesn't mean that he's not good for someone else. Now, let me tell you a secret. What happens is we do not allow God to work on the individual. See, God could be working on that individual while you're in the dating stage. I want you to be worked out in the dating stage. Now look, we're not going to find a perfect mate. You know, men, you're not going to find that perfect woman, but you're going to find the right one for you. Hey guys, this is Lady Ward. I will be giving you positive words on how you can live your life to the fullest. Here, every Sunday on Facebook Live at 12 noon. I will see you soon.